The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
What's up?
What's up?
How's it going? How was your weekend?
My weekend, it was hot, man. Like Ohio is hot. Like
It's hot.
there is no hell other than your bathroom, as you were telling me. You said you got the one hubs of hell location in your house, and that happens to be the bathroom. I think that's like the worst place to have a heat spike.
Oh yeah, definitely. Try putting on makeup and doing your hair when it's like the other door leads to hell. Seriously, it's so hot and it's so humid. It's horrible.
Man, I when I put my foundation on, all I do is just turn my TV to the highest brightness, my third screen, and just whatever I need to do right before the show. And I got my hair up so I won't get all sweaty during the show. Got kind of hot here on Monday last week.
We got lots of people in the house already. So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is RA Nation with Roxy and Antman. And we love your feedback. We love your comments. We love you joining in with us. So please feel free to do that throughout the show.
I love all these beautiful bastards, Roxy. Like, I love them. I love them all. Like, this is fun, man. Like, getting the turnout that we've gotten so far, the welcoming from our communities, like, it's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is, for sure.
Rah! I'm all like, rah, all the time, and you're really calm and cool, collected all the time. I don't know how you do
it. It's just me, but I'm still raw inside.
Hashtag mom life. That's how you do it.
New favorite. Woohoo!
What's going on, Ms. Familia? Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight on RA Nation. If you're new to the show, thank you for coming. And I want to give all the kudos in the world to the beautiful lady to the left of me, Miss Roxy right there. And, all of you, man, the RA Nation podcast group, the people in there, over 188 strong right now. And we love the support. We love the community. Weigh in. Let us know, what you think. If we suck, if you like us, if whatever, like, share, subscribe, man, show some love. And if you're an artist, band, or musician, and you guys are looking for some awesome advice, you are in the right place.
Definitely. Yes. Feedback is very important for us. Even if it's something like, hey, you guys really need to do this, tell us. We'll definitely try and help incorporate that into the show, because this is not just about me and Antman. This is an industry that we're trying to bring together and make amazing things happen. So it's about you guys too.
Absolutely. All day long. What I love the most, honestly, about what I do and what we do as a unit is the idea that, this whole year and a half, let's just call it a flat year, 2 years, honestly, like 2 years of just battling and trying to support and promote and find the right answers and through all the BS, So I'm just glad to be able to be here to do my job,
Something I've noticed is even before this crazy sickness that went around was, there was different elements in the scene. And, photography, you've got venue owners, and everybody has what they do and how they do it. And they kind of have an etiquette about what you're supposed to do in the industry, and the etiquette has been falling short. So our goal is to keep everybody on the same page, to follow that etiquette, give you guys advice, things like that. And that's why we reach out to everybody that we know that we can get their advice, their insights, and make everything better.
Like growing together is what we're supposed to be doing. I've always been a grower, not a shower. So
Hey now.
no, seriously though. No, I love all you guys, man. I want to give a shout out to Jacqueline Matthews, who is on our Facebook live group right now watching. Thank you so much. Rebel Meddler, also Roger the Wild Child Show, and looks like Integrated Music Solutions is holding strong in the chat. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate y'all. And my man Thomas is weighing in. Before we bring our guest in real quick, man, I wanted to give a shout out to the awesome and beautiful Nancy Weems, our winner from last week.
No, that was the week prior.
Was it?
Yeah, we got to catch up on this one. Week prior to Nancy Weems, when we did all the comments and we did the drawing. And then last week we had the little hidden treasure, and Dale Robinson got that one.
My bad. Yeah, Mr. Dale Robinson. My bad. I'll buy him a drink next time I see him out at the show.
Man, I'm telling you, he's a badass.
Derek Carpenter, music up in the house.
Oh, question. Have things changed in all this virus mess, and how do you see it coming back? Well, the scene is coming back, definitely. It's coming back full strong. I've seen bands like all in it. We have
Go ahead.
We've lost a few because of it, but with everything opening back up, they're in gear and in motion and ready to go.
When you talk about like all the virus mess, you're going to get so many sides left, so many sides right, so many down the middle. Really, honestly, my advice is just to be smart, be thinking ahead of what's happening, and as far as bands and everybody, like, yeah, things are kind of up and down right now, but stay focused, stay the course. If you're an artist, be writing new material, have something on the plate, always have something to the left. So if you have to slide to the right, you still have something, you don't want to just run down the middle and wear everything out. But I think it is coming back. It's going to be slow, and a lot of businesses, promoters, photographers, a lot of people are going to have to eat their egos if everybody wants to succeed.
Definitely. And there's that saying that's always been out there is expect the worst. But in a scenario, you kind of have to do, because you have to plan for it. You have to be prepared for it. And in the meantime, keep trucking, do your thing, stay amazing.
Yeah, man. And if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to reach out and be like, yo, like, how do you do this? I mean, the ones that don't want to support are the ones that aren't going to have the right answers.
So, putting up Music Familia's website right now. So make sure you check that out, www.mfp4life.com. We also have an email address you can hit us up on, ranationpodcast@gmail.com. Very easy to remember. Also, join the group in Facebook, RA Nation Podcast. So
you guys can send your emails to us also, right, Roxy? Like that's where we're getting submissions for stuff, right? I think
we are doing submissions. We're growing. We're definitely growing. So let's. I want you to be a part of it. So reach out to us. Feel free to reach out. And we'll try and help you, and we'll get things going.
Right on. I'm so excited for tonight's guest, man.
Awesome. Tell me more.
Oh, so my man Terry Douglas, not only has he been in music for quite some time, but he's an artist, a producer, jack of all trades, master of none, as he would probably say. And he is here tonight with us. So without further ado,
we shall bring him on.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Doing great.
Welcome to RA Nation, Terry.
Happy to be here. I'm glad you asked.
So did you catch a little bit of our conversation coming in?
I did.
And what are your thoughts on Rebel Meddler's question about the virus mess, and do you see music coming back and see things coming?
As far as we're concerned, it's back. Just in the last month, I think I counted up 22 shows in 30 days. So, it's there. You got to be a little more creative. You've got to work a little harder, but the bookings are there. I think I started booking February 15th, and by the 22nd of February, I was booked through November. So it took me 5 days. So,
Nice.
So, you're going to get into it or get out of it what you put into it, I guess.
They're
So
hungry for the attention too. They want artists to come in and play. They need to bring back their business.
yeah, and the bars are like, they're on top of it too. I mean, they promote, like, things are going really well right now. So, I think that as long as we can stay the course and not get back into the mess that we were in a year ago, which is still kind of up in the air right now, I think 22 is going to be fantastic. So,
in a off conversation, you had mentioned to me that you had planned for 2022 to spend over 50% of 2022 on the road.
Yeah.
How, like, okay. So imagine, like, my head, and you said that, and I just went, like, how?
Well, you also got to think that through, though. So we have a good, solid plan. We're building the team to help us do it. When I say that I want to be out 50%, it's not that I'm going to be out 15 days a month in a 30-day month. It's maybe 2 weekends of the month I'm going to be out of state or out of town. And then the other 2, I'll be in town. Because quite frankly, I mean, like, anytime that you're building something, you got to always take care of the people that have taken care of you. And I have so many venues that I've been playing for so many years. An example is we're playing at a place this weekend called Nickel Valley. I just realized I've been playing there for 5 years. When I started playing there, it was just me playing solo. And then it's grown as I've grown with the band and moving forward. That venue has grown. So I will always make room for places like that. Always, right? But instead of me taking on all of these solo shows and duo shows like I did in the past, now we're being a little smart about it. So, like, if we're going to go out of town, my lead player and I might go out on a Thursday and go play a duo show. Have the band meet us for Friday, Saturday for some band shows, and then Sunday night play somewhere on the route home, like a Sunday night evening show or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the goal would be to get. Well, you and I have talked about this, Ann, a long time ago about expanding the circle.
That's
Well,
man.
that's all we're doing. Yeah, it's expanding the circle. So
yeah.
For people that don't know what I'm talking about, so when you start a band, what are you doing? You're playing local, right? You're playing the local stuff that's around you, and as you build up there, then you're going to take that circle on the map and draw it a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger. Well, we're like the third rung out now, so. Wow. And that's kind of where we're heading. Actually, we've been preparing not only the band side of it, but like the equipment side of it, the travel side of it. We were fortunate enough to be able to secure a very nice RV for us to travel in this year. So, it makes life a lot easier, especially being out on the road.
Roxy, we were talking a little bit before the show, and you had some pretty good questions to ask Terry, I believe, pertaining to the same thing he just talked about. You want to hit him up with that?
Okay, so some misconceptions in the scene are that you're Terry Douglas bands. So everybody thinks you're, solo act, but there's the band members, usually stick with you. So how do you do that? Do you always have band members always ready at the side, ready to call them up, say, hey, we got a show this weekend? Or is it a dedicated band and everybody has, a significant part in it?
No, my band has my name on it, but that's where it ends. Like, these guys have been with me since we started this. So, my drummer Billy, he's been with me the whole time, and we started the Terry Douglas band in let me think about this for a second. I think it was 2017. I've been doing solo and duo stuff before that. And Billy was our second drummer, and he's been with us through there. Craig came on next, then Dave, and then Wolf, and then Jerry's been there the whole time too. Jerry's out on a little leave. His dad's not doing very well, so we're giving him plenty of time and space. But that part of it right there is the key. Like, all of us are rowing the boat in the same direction. We all have a job that we do. We all, are prepared and ready. And those are my guys, man. Like, it took me a long time to find them. I went through quite a few people to get the right guys in the band. And that's the most important thing. Like, if I was to start a band today, I would do it the same exact way. I want to find 5 guys I can get into a car with and drive for 400 miles, get out of the car and still like them. That was rule number 1. Rule number 2 is be prepared to come to rehearsal. Those are the two biggest things in the band. And these guys all do that. So it makes my job a lot easier. They make me look good. So
nice. Yeah. So that's definitely something I wanted to squash, is that it's more than just you, and
yeah.
Everybody should definitely recognize in this. You're like every other band too. Sometimes you might go through a member change, but in all, you're still a band that's out there doing the hard work and getting that flow and that vibe together,
Yeah, and we've really kind of come into our own at the release of the last album. For us, we had a whole album kind of ready to go before COVID. We were supposed to go into the studio in April, and then COVID hit, so the April date was just moved. I scrapped everything. I didn't think it kind of fit the times, so I scrapped it all and went to work, and I wrote that album with some friends, and my wife wrote one with me, probably within a month. And then we rehearsed it for a month. Then we hit the studio in June and recorded it.
So all new material, completely fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny because I went back and revisited some of the other stuff because we were getting ready to do another album. And I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day at this point, because I just don't think it's relevant anymore. So
wow. Yeah, I was about to ask, will you bring it back out someday? But
I don't know. I mean, if the time is right, maybe.
If you don't, I will. I got all the copies.
Oh, no. You ain't heard this one yet, buddy.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard the new stuff yet. I'm excited though.
No, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the difference between being a solo guy and a band guy is that you're not only responsible for you, you're responsible for everybody else that's in the band. And that's kind of how I view it. There's been nights where I've made sure that everybody else on my team got paid and I walked away and played a show for free. And I'm okay with that, because you know what? We picked up new fans that night. We picked up, people that are going to come to other shows, and it just builds from there. So for us, we're all in it for the long haul, and we all kind of know what we want to do. So, and I see my bass player Wolf is in here. So
I was just getting ready to say, I was going to give a shout out to Wolf, actually, man. What I think is absolutely great about the band, before we go into the hard side of conversation, I just want to touch on this. I enjoy the Terry Douglas band because each of you guys are straight-laced. You know where, when, how you want to do it. And unlike so many other bands, you guys put the time into the build before you went out and said, hey, look, I got a house.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's absolutely commendable, and I wish even more so, I think other genres, even if you're not country, I still feel like you could take something from you guys, one would be one piece or another, and be like, oh, well, okay, So,
yeah.
I give mad respect to you and the whole Terry Douglas band as a whole, because I've just for years, I've seen you guys adapt and change and roll with the punches, and no matter what, you always come back harder and faster and better. And that's what you have to do, man. So kudos to everybody.
Thanks, man. These guys work hard, and I couldn't do it without them. They're just amazing people, and I love hanging out with them. So
what I wanted to ask you about, so the whole branding aspect, you talked about how long you've been in the game, and you started doing solos and went into the band and all kinds of stuff. Like, so what types of branding have you dabbled in, or what pieces of branding have benefited you, I guess, and like, what pitfalls have you incurred?
Well, early on, like in 2017, 2018, like we were all over the place, man. Like like as far as like branding, we had a couple different kind of logos that we used, and we had, we just really didn't have a really strong image for the type of music that we were trying to play. So let's see where we're at. This is 21. So I would say towards the end of 18, I kind of copped the attitude of, you know what, I'm going to play what I want, how I like it. And either you're going to like it or not, and at that point in time, I went down through our set list and I kicked out just about every pop country song you could possibly have in the set list, because for a year and a half, we were just playing stuff. And I don't want this to come across wrong, but playing it for the people that are there, not playing it for us. And that's it's a huge difference, man. Like if I'm playing a song that I believe in, even if it's somebody else's song, that's my song now. Right. So, but when I'm playing stuff that I don't believe in, like it's hard to get up there 5 nights a week and go through the motions and do that. So once we made that change, things started turning because we were playing stuff that we like. And what we found is we found our audience that likes that same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now that we're leaning more towards the original side of the music, right? So we used to be a cover band that does originals. Now we're an original band that does some covers. That's how I kind of phase it, because we're teetering to the point after this next album. If we market ourselves right, I don't have to do 2 or 3 covers tonight, and the rest could be all original. So that was the biggest branding change. And then this past year, our buddy Jeremy did a photo session for me, and that kind of totally ramped up our branding. It's the picture you guys had on the splash screen there, and there's a bunch of other ones. Trying to kind of, if you look at those images, exactly what you're coming to see. You're not coming to see me sing Florida Georgia Line, right? You're gonna see me sing stuff that fits the image. So finally, for the first time in a long time, the image that we portray is the same type of music that we play. And that's the thing, is like branding is so important. That is our logo currently. We're actually tweaking that logo for the next year. So I put up these logos and like everybody hated them. Like I had somebody draw me up 5 or 6 logos. They did not like them at all. There was one particular that they liked a little bit more than the others. So I took some elements of that along with that image, and those two are going to get blended together and become the logo for the next year. And I think we're going to stick with that type of logo year to year, just because we can tweak it and it could be different every year. So the merch side of it changes as well. So
the logo's like a book cover, and it represents what is inside and what you're all about. So that's one thing I want to reflect to the audience, is that what you're saying is the branding is everything, and you really got to put a lot of attention and detail to it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to, I tell people I work a day job along with all this other stuff, right? Just like everybody else does. And I put in my 40 plus hours a week, and then I probably put double that into the band every week. You know, I mean, just with, marketing and branding and booking and, just making sure that we have all the stuff that we need for our shows and, ordering shirts and hats and all that other stuff, making sure our sponsors are happy. All of those things are part of the gig. And, it's awesome to do, and I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I do want to answer one question here, though. Somebody asked me if I like metal at all.
Yeah.
Here's a little known fact. My first band I was ever in the Akron area was a metal band. We did covers of like stuff that was popular at the time. It was like Metallica and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was not the singer. I was not the singer. Yeah, I do like to rock out some metal. I'm more old school, like old Metallica before they got all corporate, and then like Pantera and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff that just kind of punches you in the gut. So
nothing but the hits.
Yeah. So, but it was that was a long time ago. A little bit of my story is I was in bands up to a certain point, and then I just didn't play for many years. And then I picked it up again, and then that's when things started just really taking off for me. And
Terry, you don't just dabble in the band. You're not, like, a lot of people get it wrong. I think they first picture you like, oh, this dude with a beard and a guitar. Oh, you must be a singer. I think maybe I've heard that a handful of times. I think just from people at your shows that are watching, oh, he's a singer. Like, no, I have to stop them. I'm like, no. If that's all you think, then you need to either get your money back or you need to go to this dude's website because there's so much more.
But, I mean, I do a lot of stuff, man. We, besides all of the extra band stuff, I also have a studio that I work out of that we rent out for rehearsal space here in Thornville. We also do some recordings. This past fall, we just did the Little Shop of Horrors, where my band was the band that played all the music for it. And then they brought in the kids from Eastmore High School to come in and sing all the tracks, and we recorded that all here.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
do you produce and do all your own stuff for the band?
The last couple albums I have not. However, this one, we're going to go into our normal place that we record and do it again, just because I can engineer, I can play, but I can't play and engineer. Like, I know that about me because there's two different thought processes. Engineering is, okay, I need to make sure that I get that sound into this computer through this board. And it's very technical, where the writing side of it's more creative. And I've found that I'm not as creative when I have to do both. So we do go out to Earthworks Recording Studio in Newark with Brandon, and he does all of our tracking and stuff for us. However, I might do the mixing on this one. I'm not sure yet. I kind of want to get back into doing that after I did that Eastmore stuff. I kind of was digging it.
What production tips for bands, artists, singers, anybody out there that's preparing, they're sitting back on 500 or whatever, $500, $1,000, whatever, for studio time, and they're like, I want to spend this wisely. What would you say to them?
Keep saving. I mean, if you're going to go into a high-end studio, you're probably going to track 3 days. That'll get you, your bass tracks, your vocals, and any overdubs done. So get that done. That's probably going to run you anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 just for that. Where you want to spend your money, though, is the mixing and mastering. You want to get good tracks laid down, and then find someone that knows how to mix music that's specific to your genre. Don't go to a country guy to mix a metal album, because it's not going to come out the way that you want it to, or vice versa. Make sure that whatever you spend on that album, that you have money saved up to market it when it comes out. So if you're spending $3,000 on an album or an EP, make sure you have $3,000 set aside to promote it. You know, it sounds like a lot, but it goes by fast.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and the more that you can promote that album, the more you're going to sell, the more people are going to come to the shows, and it just kind of builds. There's a question from Nancy here I think I should answer. Do you think the new internet rules have pushed bands to do more originals? I think she's talking about, if I'm reading into this right, like Facebook and stuff, like kind of clamping down. I've been doing live streams all through COVID, and I never ever had a problem with it. With getting flagged or anything with those. However, I think the reason why you're seeing people do more originals is because they're tired. They're tired of hearing the same 10 songs over and over. Like I went out to my daughter, she's 5, and there's a song she heard on the radio yesterday. It was called Lady Like That. It's some new artist, and she loves it because it's got this big chorus. So I'm on COL's site looking for the person who wrote it so I can find it for her so she can listen to it. And it was literally same song every hour and a half, right? And so this guy's getting played multiple times throughout the day. It's weird though, because on the other side of that, you have all of these tribute bands that are out there that are killing it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's definitely a market for, you know, older stuff, because those bands aren't playing it anymore. You're not going to go see Van Halen ever again. You're not going to go, you're not going to see those bands anymore, but there's people out there that are doing it well.
The next best thing. Yeah.
Right. So that's the nostalgia part of it. But I think people are really looking for good new music. It's just, it's very hard to break through with radio being an independent artist. You really have to work hard. That's what part of the reason why we want to start branching out is because, you know, I can play the same, 30 clubs that we play every year, twice a year, or I can go out and take a chance and go to another market and try to win some people there. We went to North Carolina the past, 3 years. We've been in the North Carolina, South Carolina market, to the point now where we got asked to headline for Little Texas for this Vet Fest because we have such a strong pull in that market. So, it's from those trips, because we make use of our time while we're there too. We contact the local radio stations. We've been blessed enough to be on them every time we've been down there. I got to play a few songs on their stations. So, it definitely helps to do your homework. So, but to answer her question, I think that it's a 2-part thing. I think that people are just trying to find something new. So,
like working in a radio station, man, like I worked there for a while, and I worked at 997, and like I that's why I quit going to shows. I'll be completely honest, man. This show's about brutal honesty. I'll be honest. I quit going to shows, even though they're my favorite artists, because if they call it here in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know wherever you guys are from at home, but we have an inner city highway. It's called 270, and it circles Columbus, and we call it the 270 tour. And and anybody from Ohio or Columbus knows the 270 tour. And I don't want to go to a show, whether it be 1 day or 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, because I want to take my wife out, go listen to the band that I met 8 years ago playing 5 years old material with no plan to put anything out. And
right.
If you ask them if they have any plan, typically you can tell, because they'll hem and haw about it and look down on the ground a lot. but like it's frustrating, because people like you guys come through and you're really trying, and you get treated the same way as the other bands and artists coming through that are doing 1% of what you guys are trying to do.
In the Columbus market, man, it's a cover market for sure. You know, I mean, it's one of those areas that there are pockets of great places to play original music. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of good venues for that, but there's also a lot of bands that are trying to get into those spots, right? So for us, it makes more sense for me, dude. We go and play this little place in Kentucky that it's a tiny little bar. I love this place. It's called the Riverbend Bar and Grill. Okay, this guy gets it. He's always charged a cover at the door, always, right? And we worked our way up from a $10 cover to where it's a $25 cover now. Now we pack 250 people or 200 people into this bar that has a capacity of probably 100. And it's a good time every time we go there. And the place is small. Like, it's like maybe 2 garages big. Like, it's small. But, you know, I can go down there and I could play 95% original music and build my audience down there, which gets me to the next town and the next town and the next town in Kentucky. I do that up here, man. It's like, oh, play Freebird. No.
Wagon wheel, bro.
Dude.
I was there at that bar that night. I saw your face because it was like the 17th time they asked for it. And the dude walked up. I know he was hammered because he walked up and was like, I want wagon wheel. And he put like a 10 or something, $10 or $20 in your hat on the thing. It's like, well, man.
So looks like I got another question here about how you write. So that's a good way to go. I mean, how do you write when you write? I am a sporadic writer. I'm trying not to be that. You know, I think that when creativity hits, you gotta capitalize on it and get it. There's been days where I could write 4 songs in a day, and I did that for the last album. All 4 of them ended up on the album, right? There's times where I could go months without writing. So I'm trying to like get a little more consistent with that. So I'm doing a lot more co-writing now, which I have not done in the past. I actually have about 10 or 12 co-writes set up for August already. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great question. The second part of it was we wanted to write songs that were just as good or better than what's being heard on the radio. You know, I just think that anytime that you're writing, you've got to write what's in your heart. You've got to find a story, and it may not be your story, but it's somebody's story, but you've got to believe in it enough to put it down on paper and make the story make sense. And I can give you an example of that. Our first single off the last album was Tattoos. And we have a promoter that works with us that sent me an idea for that song. And she told me her story. And her story, to a sense, ended up in that song. Because I felt what she was feeling. And I think we've all been at that point before. You know, when we were writing Through the Storm, my wife and I wrote that together. And, you know, we were thinking about, you know, just how many times have you had to rebuild your life? I know I've got probably half dozen of them. So like too many, you know? So that's the biggest thing for me as a songwriter is finding the story, telling the story accurately and you know, making it all kind of fit into that 4 minute mark. Right. And that's sometimes is a challenge. And that's the beautiful thing about being an independent artist is I'm not bound to 4 minutes. You know, I have my friends in radio that'll play my stuff. I made a lot of friends when we released Tattoos where I can send it to them and they'll play it. But you know, I'm not going to be a Luke Bryan or a Luke Combs because I don't want to be that. I'm too old to be that. Like I can't be guzzling beers on the stage anymore, man. It's a long time ago.
A lot of people are all about those finding that hook for that repetitive notion that you're reaching the audience, but in the real aspect of it all, you're looking for that hook into the heart, not the hook into an ear hole. And
Right.
once you snag them, you've got a follower for life because they feel you, and that's a journey that they're going on with you because they can relate. And there's a lot more to music than just hearing a repetitive verse over and over and over again.
Oh, he tries. Don't get me started on that. So, like I know when my daughter starts singing along to songs that those are dumbed down. Like, I mean, she's 5 and she can just spit that hook out like that. I mean, it's probably great for the songwriter. It's great for radio, I'm sure, but like, I think people want real. You know, I think that if you sit anybody that listens to any genre of music down, you know, and ask them if you could have a catchy hook or something that's real and give them some examples of both, they'll pick real, I would say probably 95% of the time.
One thing I always say is that music is therapy. Everybody who knows me will say that. And so that's people's avenue. They're looking for something, you know, that they can connect to. And it does help in so many ways. And it's not on the surface. It's underlying. And once you feel it, and everybody knows.
I use my kids. That's how I plan my show every week. I pick 30 songs. No joke. I pick 30 songs, whether it be Spotify or YouTube, and I pick 30 independent artists, and I play each of them for my kids. And if one kid bounces, the other one doesn't, then it kind of goes to a pile, and I narrow it down from there. And that's how I pick the music for my show, unless I have submissions.
Right.
I mean, the honesty is just there. Daddy, this is not good.
Yeah, the kids are brutally honest.
What merchandising tips would you throw out to all the bands? Because, you know, I go to shows, man. You go to shows, Roxy, you go to shows. Everybody's like, buy my shirt. Check this out. Get this. Get that. Like, so, like, what kind of advice would you give for merchandising? What's kind of worked for you in the past, if you don't mind sharing that kind of?
I could share. Yeah, I could share that. Like, first off, like, find a good vendor. It took me a while to do that. I typically, like, I started with just koozies and like some of those wristbands, right? And then I sold all of those. And then I took that money, bought some more koozies, bought some more wristbands, bought some shirts, you know, and then I sold those. And then I took that money and bought some more stuff. Don't try to get everything at once. You're not going to sell it all. There's stuff that I've done that has totally failed. And I have a whole box full of crap in the garage that I'll just have to give it away. Like, you know, for me, my biggest merch item right now are hats. And those seem to go really fast. Like, I think this last batch, I think I did up 144 hats, and I have to go do some more for the next show. So, and that was just a couple months ago. So, you know that, you know, merch is an investment, but if it's not out, I see so many guys, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, I forget to set it out, or I don't have somebody to run it. I honestly don't put enough merch effort into merch as I should. But when I do sell it, we do sell a lot of it. So, I mean, you know, if you're a guy playing in a local band and you have some t-shirts and you actually set up a little display, I just put a bucket out and be like, you know what, it's the honor system. I trust you guys. You're my people. Get the shirt that you want, get the hat that you want, throw the money in the bucket. If you need to run a credit card, send me a break. Right. And I've never had anybody steal anything. I've never had anybody take anything. But it won't sell if it's not out. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give you. Like, I'm horrible, like, when I'm doing like solo and duo shows. I've gotten a little better recently, but I just don't put it out. And then I kick myself later Because I mean, there's some nights that I make more off of merch than I do off of plan.
Yeah.
You know, and we've got some pretty big plans for next year to jump that game up and really just I'm trying to get somebody on full time to do it. Actually, is what I'm trying to do. So that's the plan. You know, I'm looking for that right person that can travel to the band shows, and it could be one or two people. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but like I really would like to find one person to do it. And what I would want them to do is be like, all right, you know what? Here's the merch. Here's the inventory. Sell it. At the end of the night, you get your cut. Inventory it for me. Tell me what we need to order. Okay, let's go ahead and have you place the orders that I need. Like, you know, and you know, kind of build it that way. And then as we introduce new things into it, like we did tank tops for the first time this year, and holy crap, they're just about sold out. I'm getting ready to order another batch of them just because like it's summertime. People are hot and sweaty. It's like, you know, makes sense. So we'll probably do hoodies in the fall. So, you know, it's just really kind of asking people what they want. You know, I do that all the time in our Facebook group that we have for the band is that I ask them, you know, like logos. Here's 5 logos. Which ones do you like? Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Because they're more apt to buy into it at that point in time, you know, how do they have part of the process? So
letting them be involved. Yeah. We got people that love you. Look at this.
Thanks, man.
So we're coming close to an end, unfortunately, and I do have a video that I want everybody to see.
Sure.
And when we get back, I want to address a couple final questions that you want, or comments that you want our audience to know about. So I think I want to play this video now.
Okay.
And so you think about that. When we get back, we'll address that. So
sounds good.
Been through many storms in my life, and it makes me wonder what's left for me. Never seems to be a rainbow anywhere inside, and it makes me wonder, should I just let it be? Storm, I can live again, seeking shelter from a past that's haunting me. Through the storm, I can begin to seek shelter from the mess I made of me. Seen the fire, I've seen the rain. It makes me wonder if I'm ever on your mind. To the gates of hell and back again, I made of me.
Wow. So first, shout outs and tell me the people that I saw in there that I recognize and other people would recognize.
Probably Rich Regal would be the one that everybody recognizes out of there. City Chief, he's a producer in the country rap genre. He's the one that shot the video for that. And we were looking for somebody to play that part in the video. And I'm like, Rich, why don't you just do it, man? I'm like, you'd be perfect for this. And, we kind of had a storyboard laid out, and he just killed it. Like what you don't see in the video is when he's up there, like twirling his shirt around, like they told him to act like a belligerent fool. And so we're all cracking up. So they couldn't use any of that footage because he is just so funny. like Rich is just a funny dude. And I love that guy, man. Like him and I I think I've known him just about as long as I've known you, Ann. I mean, it's been quite a few years. And, Rich actually put the first version of the Terry Douglas Band on a very early show that he hosted back in 2017. I think it was way back. Yeah.
Like
so
seats.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see him doing his thing, and he's being successful, and him and I are really trying to work on something together. He did remix one of my songs and put a verse in it. It's called Tattoos, and it released on his last album. But him and I are really trying to do something together at some point in time where maybe I'll sing the hook for him or something like that. Like him, I could do that for. It'd be pretty easy to do. So.
Right on, Terry. So what shows you got coming up before we get out the door?
This week, I have that pulled up. Nickel Valley, probably one of my favorite places to play. It basically is in the middle of nowhere in Frazeysburg, and it's this beautiful little resort that people just drive up in ATVs, horses, whatever. They all come out. Like it's literally a gravel road to get there. That's this weekend. Playing at the Port Thursday this week. It's up in Buckeye Lake. And then we're doing, see what's the next big one we're doing. We'll be back in Kentucky on the 27th. We got stuff in between, but you can find out all of our full schedule at our website right there. Perfect. TerryDouglasMusic.com. And from there, you can find all of our links to social media. I pick a few and try to do them well. So I don't do all of them. So I've got, I think Facebook and Instagram are the two main ones that I use. I just can't quite, I have it. I can't figure that out, man. That's like, I don't get it. I don't like my niece was on TikTok like before TikTok was really super cool, and like she's been on there forever, and like I just don't understand. I don't know. I keep seeing a bunch of TikTok videos. Maybe I should reevaluate it, but
my 4-year-old almost went viral, and I took that shit down. Like I messed up. We were messing around, having a great time, daddy-daughter moment, whatever, and I recorded it. And I was like, oh, like this is just gonna be like every other dad video. Blah, blah. Put it on TikTok, and it started taking off. It got to about 45K, and it was like, yeah,
wow.
We're done.
Yeah, cutting it off right there. So
that's what I'm trying for. I just gotta figure out which opportunity to take. I'm in a reptile business too, and the music business. So I'm trying to like, where
you can easily mingle that. If Poison can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, you can do that. You can totally do that. Rocking out something with a snake around your neck. I'm sure that's good for at least 20K right there. So
once to check it out, it's Roxy's Reptiles on TikTok.
So there you go.
See if that makes an impact, and then I'll decide what to do with that.
Right. Man, Terry, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys having me, man. It's good to catch up with you.
One last piece, one last question.
Sure.
the main advice that you would give artists or anybody in the music industry, what would you tell them? What would you leave them with?
Just be patient. I mean, everybody's there. Be patient. There's room for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are competitive that oh, if I help him, he's gonna take my shows. No, we're not. There's plenty of gigs. There's always more gigs somewhere. Just be kind to each other and try to help each other out. And I think that's something that I've been talking to Ann about for years. I mean, we always have kind of built our businesses around that. Yeah, and the last piece would be, if you're starting a band, do an LLC right away. right off the bat, like right off the bat, do it. It's worth $125 for sure. So,
well, thank you so much for your time, your insights. You were absolutely amazing tonight, and
thank you.
I hope the best for you as well, and I look forward to seeing you sometime.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye now.
Barry.
Woo!
Woo! Oh my gosh. So if you missed it, that's where you go to find him.
Whole lots of info tonight, Roxy.
Amazing. I couldn't ask for anybody well, all of our guests are so amazing and insightful for sure. So I love what we do.
All my beautiful bastards. I love them. I love them all. I love them all. Like if they allow me to call them, or my little ant minions, I believe is the word that was brought up a while ago. I don't know. I'm gonna have to bring that back. There's a T-shirt and everything, but it's cool to hang out with you again this week for Awesome RA Nation. What do we got next Monday?
Next Monday, you're just gonna have to tune in and find out, because I have got a couple things up my sleeve here. So you'll have to tune in and find out. Wait for those posts.
Even I have to wait.
The RA Nation Facebook group. I need to put that up right now. But I want to hear feedback from you guys. What do you like about the show, and what can we change, and how can we do better as a team? All of us.
Yep.
So another thing is awesome to Nancy Weems and Dale for winning.
Dale, I am so sorry, bro. I am so sorry. Like that I effed that up, bro. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Another thing is something I was pondering over on the weekend was because I drive all over the area to these reptile shows, and I'm driving for 3+ hours sometimes, and I'm thinking about weird stuff. My brain is weird. And thinking we need to be like water. Okay, we need to be like water. We need to adapt and change and flow. We need to find a spot for a stream, and I want to incorporate that into the music scene. We need to be like water.
What are you doing?
Oh, hold up. In the music industry, let me clarify. Definitely, you got to adapt. Make changes and learn, because we're going through a lot right now after this whole COVID thing, and technology has been blowing up. So get on board with everybody. So not just us, but you and me and he and she. Does that make sense?
Us, they, them.
Yes. Your buddy that you're playing a show with that night, get on board with them.
Yep. And I want to give a shout out before we get out the door. New Age Connect, man. Find them on Facebook. Andy and Mike are nothing but the most genuine mofos out there. So make sure you find New Age Connect. I sent all of you invites. If you didn't get one, that's because you're not friends with me. So, I've been sending those out like hotcakes. So make sure you guys get over there, New Age Connect on Facebook. Show them some love.
Awesome. All right, so tune in next week. Share the love. Like, share, subscribe. This is W4CY Radio, Talk 4 TV, and Music Familia Productions. There's a lot going on here. So
Music Familia for life. Yes, I love y'all.
We'll see you next week. Later, guys.
Bastards.